But yeah, we're talking in this episode. One of the things that you may have to deal with in a relationship, or you may not have to deal with in a relationship, is making sure that yes, you don't have to lose yourself in your relationship.
I didn't really realize until like when it started happening more frequently. You start go traveling or vice versa, and one of us at home like, dang, people really be asking where Marquis be at.
Where's Taylor? Where's your wife?
Because they don't ask where's Taylor anymore. They're like, where's your wife?
Exactly.
My name gets the wife, or the better half.
Yeah. Well, I don't like living under your spotlight. Just because you think I might find somebody worthy. Well, I don't like living under your spotlight. Maybe if you treat me right, you don't have to worry.
You should be ashamed of yourself. What you think you doing? Loving me so wrong. Baby, all I do is try. Show that you are mine.
First of all, I'm not in the doghouse. I didn't do anything. And second of all, we got an episode to do.
But this is my song. You always be cutting me off when I'm getting ready to get in these songs.
I'm definitely about to cut you off because you're making it sound like I'm in the doghouse already.
Well, if I don't like...
Yo, y'all. It's your boy Marquis.
And this is your one and only, your favorite Taylor.
And welcome back to the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck with me.
Okay, apparently my wife feels like I'm in the doghouse. I'm not. I don't know what I did, but...
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I don't know why, but
what you think you do.
So obviously, y'all, you guys know the song. It's Spotlight. Shout out to Jennifer Hudson with the Chicago Connection. Chi-Town,
what up?
So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how we're a married couple, but we're individuals as well.
Because, baby, I'm ready for this conversation.
Yeah, because, look, y'all, I
love you, but we are not the same.
We're not, but like I said, I love you too, but we also have our own individual interests.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. My wife is a huge music head.
And my husband is just a walking Google with random facts.
I'm proud of it. It got me paid.
Well, talk that talk, bro.
But yeah, we're talking in this episode, one of the things that you may have to deal with in a relationship, or you may not have to deal with in a relationship, is making sure that yes, you don't have to lose yourself in your relationship.
Because one of the things that tends to happen when you get into a serious relationship or any type of relationship, if you're really into that person, it's that term everybody use, you lose yourself, right? And sometimes that could be a good thing, sometimes it could be a bad thing. And the reason I say it's a good thing is because it can give you, if you don't already have direction of what you want to do in life, or if you feel like that this person brings out the best in you, that could be helpful. But also it's a bad thing because let's just say, prime example, one example was you went away for a weekend. I stayed home. And, I'm just hanging out with the girls and everything like that. And then we also end up hanging out with some of my frat and soror and, friends and family. The first thing they was like, where's Marquis? Now, the ignorant Taylor was like, good and damn well where Marquis at.
Well, it depends on who was asking, though.
They knew good and damn well where Marquis was at. But for those who didn't, I was like, well, he just went out to a meeting or whatever like that for the weekend. He'll be back, blase. But it's like, I didn't really realize until like when it started happening more frequently, you start go traveling or vice versa, and one of us at home like, dang, people really be asking where Marquis be at.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that because we were talking about this earlier I went to a Greek picnic earlier during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I went by myself. And you didn't want to go this time. You wanted to stay home, which was fine. It was cool with me. I'm like, okay, I'll just go have a
Baby,
good
because
time.
that bed was comfortable. And plus, I had a long week.
Yeah, because I think it was because of work. But
Yeah.
I went by myself, and for everybody who knows us, I went by myself, and the first thing that I got was, well, where's Taylor? And I'm like,
Well, where's your wife?
yeah, where's Taylor? Where's your wife?
Because they don't ask where's Taylor anymore. They're like, where's your wife?
Exactly.
My name gets the
wife.
The wife.
And
Or the better half.
Yeah. And it's like, she didn't want to come this time, or she, was at work, or whatever the case may be. But it's happened a lot more recently, which made us think about it. It's like, are we really, if one is here, then they expect the other?
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine sometimes, but sometimes you do get a little annoyed. Like, okay, she has her own individual interests. I have my own individual interests. And the purpose of this episode of the podcast is to remind everyone to not lose themselves in their relationship. Make sure that you maintain your own identity.
And, I mean, to be fair, when we first started dating, we were so in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We was like, we're Velcro. You won't see one too far without the other.
Which is true. So it leads me to this question. Did we set ourselves up for that?
Inadvertently, yes.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay.
I mean, in a sense, we still joke about that we're Velcro, but we got to the point of our relationship, like, once you say you gone for a couple days, I be at home chilling, doing all the stuff that I couldn't do while you there.
Oh yeah. While I was gone, you were acting up. You were doing the most.
I was.
It was funny.
I was.
But you were doing the most.
I took out the trash by myself. I pumped my own gas.
And you opened the door for yourself.
I opened the door for myself.
Look, y'all, she was on social media talking about, so my husband's going to be mad, but snap your neck, everything.
And I did not stack my neck. Don't make it seem like I'm a little bobblehead, like I'll just be doing this.
Nah, the neck was definitely snapped.
Anyway, you just mad because I wore your hoodies while you was gone, too. Because, baby, I did that.
She's so disrespectful, y'all.
That's the best part, wearing your hoodies. It's hoodie season.
I'm going to let it ride for now.
You ain't got no choice.
It's already out there. You right.
But anyway, we getting off topic.
But y'all, we want to really encourage you guys to make sure that you still maintain your own individual interests, the things that you like to do before you got into a relationship, the things that you like to do during a relationship, and everything you like to do going forward.
Now, I will, because you know me, I always love to use real life experiences. Now, we're not telling you this because we haven't experienced it. I've experienced it. And one good example that I had was when Marquis was going through treatments.
Mm-hmm.
This is when he would have like different stints in the hospital. And, he was just getting into the journey to remission.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you remember. There was one time me and a couple of peanuts, we wanted to go down to Detroit, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I should leave Marquis, here by himself because I think I was gone for like a few days, like the weekend or whatever like that. And I hadn't really left you like that since everything had transpired. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit this one out. And one of our friends was like, oh no, you gonna go. And then another one of our friends was like, well, we can't do that. You got to respect their wishes or whatever like that. But what I liked about that was you was like, no, babe, go ahead and enjoy yourself. I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I was fighting a little bit, because I'm like, no, babe, what if you need me or whatever? You was like, babe, chill out. I
got my parents.
I got my parents. That's what my parents are here for. So I want to say like the first couple hours of like being on the road, I just like, I was checking up with him like, are you okay? You need that? You sure? I can always turn back around. You like, I'm fine. They just brought me some chicken tenders. So, in that whole process of being with you, being your support since new treatment and stuff like that, I felt like I was losing myself because at that point it was like, oh, I got to make sure I'm always on call for him, in case something happens or whatever. But then when you start feeling better and you starting, be back outside because you was outside.
Oh, I couldn't wait to get back outside.
I just had to learn. I had to reteach myself, like, oh, he doesn't really need me. He out here, doing this, that, and the third. What am I still doing here? Just worrying about him. He's fine.
It's kind of like you got to rediscover yourself.
Yeah, I had to rediscover myself, and also I had to remember how much I enjoy of doing like self-care, like solo dates, like taking myself out on a date. I love that. So when I started doing that again, and and reprogram my mind, like, this is you. This is what you like to do. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and especially when I got to moving around myself without any issue. It's like, and it happened to me too, because I had to always remember, like, okay, you didn't have to always help me. My parents didn't have to help me. I was at a space where I could do, as much as I could for myself, and each day I was getting better at it. Well, just like you were rediscovering yourself, I was rediscovering myself too, just in a different way.
Yeah.
And there's, it was a teaching moment for both of us. But I think ultimately us having that individual space and individual time apart also made our relationship stronger. And I'm gonna give you another scenario. When I was living with my mom, and it was the height of the pandemic, and we wanted to see each other, and she was like gung ho no.
Mm-hmm.
I think that also, the fact that we were also able to keep ourselves busy and maintain our own individual interests, that made our relationship stronger, and made, just making sure we kept our individual personalities and things before we were married.
Individual interests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shoot, in the height of the pandemic, I was working.
Unfortunately.
Working.
But we're going to talk about that. That's a different topic.
That's a different topic, but
you guys, make sure that you always keep your individual interests. Is nothing wrong. I'm gonna say this. There's nothing wrong with including your significant other in your individual interests, because for all they might like it too. You can teach them something that they never knew.
That's true. But then also too, you want to keep a balance, because you don't want to feel burnt out.
Yes.
Because we've experienced some burnouts.
You want to talk about the burnout that you experienced?
I have so many burnouts.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is all you gotta do is choose one.
Oh, I gotta think about it. You got one that comes to mind?
The burnout that I felt, first of all, it doesn't happen often, but the burnout that I did feel, it was actually during the wintertime, and it was the morning that you called me to help you shovel out your car.
Oh, baby, yeah, you was.
Man.
He was not having it.
I wasn't. But I knew that, because you were someone I cared about, I was willing to go through the burnout for you. But I also had to make sure that I was taking care of myself too.
Yeah.
So, you can't, sometimes you will forget about yourself. It happens. We're all human. But make sure that you maintain that you come first. Sometimes you got to come first to thy own self be true.
Okay, I've had one. I have a burnout experience. I would say it was around the time period you was in the hospital, and you would call me at 3 a.m.
Okay.
You would call me 3 a.m. Like, I'll be asleep, or I'll be, with the girls or whatever like that. And you would call me, I knew you was in pain. Like, it was like you had the lower back pain or whatever pains that you were having. You'd be like, babe, can you just come rub my back or whatever you needed from your time. In the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, I really don't want to get up.
And that's fine. And that's fine, because I've had those moments too.
Like, damn, really don't want to get up, but he needs me, and I want to be a support to him. So, child, I packed that spend a night bag.
But it was good though, because it was on a day where you didn't have to work. So no, it was a couple times
where I had to work.
Yeah, because you definitely came. There were definitely times where you came at 3 a.m. and you had to be at work at 6.
I packed that spend night bag. I'm like, okay, well, let me pack this, let me pack that, and I'm just gonna go, and then I'm gonna go to work from there.
But the good thing about it was the hospital wasn't far from the house, so it's not like you had to make it like a 20, 30-minute crazy drive.
But baby, it was just 3 a.m.
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely understand.
I mean, we could laugh about it and stuff now, but
in that moment, it was like,
no.
It was rough.
And I knew it was taking a toll of burnout because our close friends, the Peanuts, would, some of them will tell me like, hey, you need rest. You need to take care of yourself before you take care of Marquis. And when you younger and in love and you really want to make sure you support that person, you be like, yeah, I hear you. But life has a way of telling you.
Yeah, because it's important that you recognize those signs of burnout, because being, not taking care of yourself but not maintaining your own interests can definitely lead to some health issues, some stressful situations. So, and I think one thing that we didn't do because we weren't necessarily prepared for it, we didn't have those conversations. Like, at least not until later on, like, hey, babe, I'm feeling burnout. I'm feeling some type of way. I need to go home. I need to, get myself together. And there was a situation where you told me that, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead, go home, because you can't pour into me if you can't pour into yourself.
But I felt so bad.
I know, and
I felt guilty. And that's one thing I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, the guiltiness of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard of survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
But we never talk about spousal guilt.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a thing. Spousal guilt is actually a thing.
Spousal or caregiver guilt.
And especially, I think, and maybe it's because it was coming from my perspective, but there were times where I'm like, babe, you don't have to feel guilty, because you're not the only one who's looking after me and making sure that I feel good. I got my parents, I got a strong support system. So if you need to take care of yourself, then go ahead and go.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a better understanding of that now because time has passed.
Hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight's 2020, but you got to think about it. We was a new relationship,
mm-hmm.
so you always want to put your best foot forward,
mm-hmm.
right? You always want to have that good lasting impression.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that can get you fucked up.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know sometimes it get you fucked up, but we were in a new relationship, and I just want to make sure that everybody knew that I was present and I was available.
And I'm glad you said that, because there were times where we would have those conversations where you would openly tell me that you didn't feel like you were doing enough. And I will always tell you, no, babe, you're doing just fine. If I don't feel like you're doing enough, I will tell you. And I never had to tell you, because you were always there. You were always present. You were always like, hey, babe, what do you need? You were always a service in some form or fashion. So from you, I never felt like I was a second thought.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you from my perspective, what I didn't realize that was actually the thing, that when you're the one that is being taken care of and you're the one that is the one in need, you're not looking to see the people who are taking care of you if they need a break, because you're going through your own thing. You can't see that. You're walking around with blinders.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing that's not talked about. And that's not that's not saying that's a bad thing or whatever like that. Because if you're sick, you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna think about everything around you or the people around you. You just know you need immediate attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, who wouldn't want that when they sick? So that whole thing of when I felt guilty and stuff like that kind of stemmed from like, okay, from the times that you were really sick or whatever, and you just not looking like yourself. That's what that guilt came from. Like, dang, I feel like I'm being selfish by putting myself first, as opposed to making sure you're okay.
But also, this is something that I was always making sure that I gave you affirmation on. There were some things that I had to go through in that moment that there was nothing that you can do.
I could do.
And I will also tell you that there's no need for you to feel guilty, because you were always there. You were always making sure that you, like you said, had a presence, that people knew that you were standing 10 toes down, that you were going through it with me thick and thin. So when you tell me that you felt guilty, like you felt you weren't doing enough, I'm like, babe, you're doing fine. And there would be times where I tell you, like, babe, go take some time out for yourself, because I'm good. Right now, there's some things going on with me, but I'm good.
Yeah, something when the person who needs your help tells you you look like you need help.
Yeah. So that's the point.
That's a real thing, though.
That's the point where you need to listen to them, like, hey, like, okay,
Like, go take yourself home, bro. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go eat. Do what you like to do. If you like to go, make sure that you get your hair done. If for anybody, if you like to get your nails done, you want to go to a restaurant, go to a movie, hit a bar. Take some time out for yourself. Make sure that you're always good. Make sure that you're, like I said earlier, to thy own self be true. You can't be true to anybody else if you're not true to yourself.
Yeah, but that was in the beginning. We can safely say now we've done a better job at that.
Yes, it was definitely a learning experience.
It was definitely a learning experience. Now Marquis gone for a few days. I'm like, when you leaving? How long you gonna be gone?
Bye.
Bye. Let me know when you make it.
Pretty much. And like when she's gone, I find myself just keeping busy. More times than not, I'm either sleeping or I'm playing Madden.
Right.
Or I'm eating, because y'all know I love to eat.
Of course. But we are also doing this episode to let everybody know, friends and family. I know we are one, but we are not the same person.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of similarities, but we do have our differences.
Right. And it's funny because when you in a serious relationship or marriage, you start to hear your name start to change. As for example, Marquis said, my name is no longer Taylor. My name is the wife. Where's your wife? There's been times like, where's your husband? Or I don't never really call him husband like that. I call him, they be like, where's your tall man?
Tall man I don't mind because I'm 6'5".
What else in other names? We got called the Googles.
And like I'm get called Mr. Music Google. I'm like, I'm not Mr. Music Google.
And I'm not Mrs. Google because I only know random facts when it comes to music. I don't know random life facts.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little irritating. Other times it's like, okay, I'll let it slide this time.
Yeah. Or in our immediate friend group, we get called the married couple.
That one I actually don't mind because, in fact, we are married, so it's not like it's something that's completely made up or untrue.
That's true, but sometimes I just want to be called my name, man.
Yeah.
Or be called the favorite because I am the one and only and the favorite. And if I ain't your favorite, then I want to know why.
Well, I ain't got no reason for you not to be my favorite.
Good answer.
But just make sure that you don't lose yourself in your relationship because, not all relationships last. So in the off chance or in the chance that a relationship didn't last, now you got to go back through the issue of trying to find yourself again, find your own interests away from that person that you were in a relationship with. And that sometimes can be hard for men and women.
And, it just reminds me of this saying. It reminds me of RuPaul. He always said, how the hell you going to love somebody else if you can't love yourself first?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
That's real facts.
Like, and I think also if you're going to get into a relationship, you got to also be 10 toes down with yourself. Not love yourself necessarily, but you got to be confident in yourself. You got to have you carry yourself a certain way, and that's the light that attracts people to you.
Cause baby, I know I got all the swag. Bow, bow, bow. Yeah.
Okay, with the Janet on the shirt. Because
I am Janet Jackson's future hype woman, best friend, and music producer. Keep trying to tell y'all that.
Yeah, you've been saying that for years, so
it's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm just, I'm
just saying, don't be mad if she come up with me when I do my Grammy speech.
And this is one of the reasons how you can tell. This is one of the reasons how you can tell that we have our differences because she's a mega Janet fan.
And you a mega Kendrick fan.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm like I said, one of our many differences. Besides, well, I can't say that necessarily our taste in music is different because obviously we have our favorite artists who do both. Well, Janet doesn't rap, but she's had rap in her music, so.
Yeah.
And then of course Kendrick sampled Janet, so they got a song together.
But we could talk about that in another episode.
Like I said, we have our differences. Matter of fact, the biggest difference, I think one of the biggest differences between us is how we view things.
And I got more hair.
I feel attacked.
No, don't feel attacked. I just got more hair. But on that note, babe, you want to tell them where they can hit us up at?
I still feel attacked.
You look good, babe. You look good, boy.
Thank you. You look good too. With your Janet shirt on and your necklace that says Snip.
Anyway, you want to tell the people where they can find us at?
You guys can find us at our email. There's youstuckwithme@gmail.com. USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. You can send us sticky notes there. You can go to our Facebook page, send us sticky notes there. That is You Stuck With Me on Facebook. You can also hit up our IG, You Stuck With Me _podcast. That is USTUCKWITME_podcast on IG. You can also comment on our YouTube. Just type in You Stuck With Me podcast. You'll find us. Never miss a thing. Our episodes come out on Wednesdays. You can find me personally on the app formerly known as Twitter and IG at my M1NE_1. That is M1NE_1.
And you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter and Instagram under Queen Points. That's PO01NTZ. Again, that is Queen Points, PO01NTZ. And if you want a little bit more behind the scenes stuff of our tomfoolery shenanigans and malarkey, and I'm forgetting one. Tomfoolery.
You said tomfoolery, malarkey, shenanigans. I think that might be it. I'm forgetting.
That might be it. But if you want a little bit more of all that stuff, you can also find us on TikTok. That is Queen Points 22. Again, that's Queen Points 22. And, when we talking all this music, don't forget to hit up the You Stuck With Me podcast playlist. So all the songs that you hear me awfully singing, shout out to my auntie Darlene, because I got a song for you waiting, girl. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, and also coming soon to YouTube.
Also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe.
And like.
Make sure you like on YouTube as well. You can subscribe on YouTube.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, because we're always doing something, y'all.
Always. But this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And this is your boy Marquis.
Hey, come back.
You stuck with us.
You stuck. You stuck with me.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Later.